Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I'm not in my normal setup here because we're going to be conducting an experiment, and it's to see which country has the best racehorses in the world. As you can probably tell, I've got the PlayStation controller here. I've jumped on AFL Evolution 2. I've made 13 teams of all the best countries in the world that has racehorses in it, and we're going to run an AFL season through with all 13 teams to see which team comes out on top and which team has the best racehorses in the world. So this is part 0 of the experiment. This is just teaching you all the foundations and how this is going to be structured. So I'll get onto the 13 teams now. The first team up is Argentina. Now this was a team I had to make from scratch because they weren't in the game already, so that's why they've got a Sturt Football Club logo. It's just because it's blue, it fits in with Argentina. So I didn't even know Argentina had racehorses, to be honest, but these were their best racehorses that I could find, and all the positions as well that all the horses are in, I randomised on a wheel spinner. It wasn't my decision, so their captain and best player actually ended up starting in the centre, Librado. And yeah, that's basically what they've got. I made 24 horses for each team, and I had to fill in the rest of the spots because to be a team that can go in a league, you have to have at least 40 players. So hopefully if someone from Argentina gets injured, these two, Amigazo Sky and Jumpy Spring, can jump in and fill their spots. Otherwise they're just going to have to get this 0 rated player that I've put in as one of their reserves. So overall, Argentina, a 50 rating. This is going to look familiar to a few people. It is Australia. They also weren't in the game, so I had to make Australia, and I put the All Australian logo as our logo. Plenty of these names you'll recognise, and obviously, as I said, all generated, and I can't believe it, but without a fight, Mr. Brightside, Alligator Blood, and Think About It all ended up in the midfield, so we're going to be good there. I'm going to be supporting Australia throughout this series, as I'm sure most of you will as well. But up-and-comers like Pride of Jenny made the team, Attrition made the team, obviously Group 1 winner. Riff Rocket is our ruck. We've got Giga Kick at centre-half forward and In Secrets at full forward. I'm not going to read out all the names because you can read them for yourself, but on the bench, a Tissue, Espiona, Gold Trip, Nature Strip. Don't know why he's there, to be honest, but I put him in, and the reserves are Apulia, who ran second to Riff Rocket in the Derby, and Military Mission, who ran in the Melbourne Cup this year. Our captains Think About It. We've got an overall rating of 69. Again, didn't know they had racehorses, but Brazil is the next team up. Only an overall rating of 48. Now, these ratings I've given the horses are based off time form ratings, so what ratings they've been run. They've all been equalised. I don't know if that's a word, but they've all been equalised based on track condition and all that, so it's all equal, and Brazil have got a rating of 48. Their captain being Dr. Sereno off half-back, 64 rating. That's their highest rating, but so far they've got the lowest rating of the 3 teams we've looked at so far. Mr. Man's in the ruck. The Last Emperor is in the forward pocket. I'm just waffling now. That's Brazil. The next team up is Canada. Now, they are in the game, so that's why they've got their traditional flag. A rating of 53, so that puts them at the second highest so far than what we've seen. Fev Rover is their captain at centre-half back. If you're looking for other, names, not too sure where to look, but again, you can read it for yourself. Those are all the horses, the best horses in Canada. So they're the second highest so far, rating-wise. France is the next team up. Only 4 rating points overall behind Australia, so they've actually got some decent players. The best one, of course, being Ace Impact. I forgot to put him captain because he's the highest rated, but Ace Impact is the highest rating on France. Big Rock is not too far behind. At centre-half forward, we've got Sober, named after my good mate Jai. So Jai, I know you're watching. You've got a team to barrack for other than Australia, because you're at centre-half forward playing for France. Simca Miller's at full forward. So France might be ones to watch too. Next up is Germany. Now, Germany aren't in the game, but I've just put a wolf there because I think wolves are native to Germany, but I could be wrong. Fantastic Moon's their highest rated player off the half back. Mr. Hollywood's in the ruck, straight in the midfield. Apart from that, they've got India at full forward playing for Germany. India's playing for Germany. So Germany are actually the third highest rated team so far at 56. So that's very strange, isn't it? Next up is Hong Kong. Now, you might notice a few names in here. I've forgotten to put in Golden 60, who was a very good racehorse, if you don't know who that is. So he's out of the Hong Kong team. I'm not going to change it around now. But you'll notice names like, a few of you might remember Senor Toba, who won a few races over here in Australia, down in Victoria. It was a grey horse before moving up to Hong Kong. California Spangle's been right in amongst the Golden 60 form. It's at 69. Captain and at centre half forward, Romantic Warrior, who won the Cox Plate for James McDonald. He's at centre half forward. Tourmaline Diamond was formerly named Eric the Eel in Australia, who ran, I think it ran second last in the Caulfield Guineas behind Super Seth from memory. Hong Kong only have a rating of 54, so will need to be at their best to win. Lucky Sweynesse as well, a very high rating. We now move on to one of the highest rated teams of the whole league. It is Great Britain, 5 rating points higher than Australia with 74. If you did the tips, bets, or whatever you did for the Ascot Carnival, you might recognise some of these names. Kyprios, for example, he's at centre half back. The captain is August Rodin, who I think won in America a race. I'm not too sure. I didn't delve into it, but that's a pretty good horse. He's on the forward flank. He's trapped on the forward flank. Inspiral on the other one. King of Steel in the middle. Paddington in the ruck. I think Paddington won in the Ascot Carnival this year. Mostadaf's also been in around the Ascot Carnival when it's been on. Dubai Honor has come over here and beaten Animo. Only got a rating of 68 on time form, so I was a bit surprised by that. Highfield Princess is running in the Hong Kong Sprint this weekend. Big race meeting in Hong Kong this weekend. Highfield Princess is coming over to Hong Kong from Great Britain to run in that race. Bay Bridge, another horse that was in amongst the Ascot Carnival. So Great Britain, one of the highest rated teams, with 74. 8 down, 5 to go, and Ireland is the next one up. Now, this team isn't too bad, coming in with a rating of 60. A few of these horses you might recognise as well. Luxembourg started favourite for, I think, a Group 1 during the Ascot Carnival. That's the only one I've really recognised from this bunch so far. Their highest rated is Tahira, I'm not too sure. 77 in the middle of midfield, but you will notice the first emergency is Vauban. Now Vauban, if somehow you don't know, started favourite for the Melbourne Cup. A lot of people were on it and it did naught. So hopefully seeing that name again doesn't bring back bad memories for Vauban backers, but that's the Ireland team. The next one up is Japan, 2 rating points overall behind Australia. And they've got some pretty decent names. They do own the highest rated horse in the game, and at full forward, Equinox is 97 rated. The highest rated horse in the game is Equinox, and their forward line stacked. Justin Palace at 75, Liberty Island at 78. They've got a devastating attack, do Japan, and their backline's holding up well as well. So Japan are ones to watch for this series. You might know a few horses in this slot. It is New Zealand. Now, just a bit of, not context, but just how I worked this out was I've put horses in their respective countries based on either where they're trained or where they've done their most racing. So Imperatriz is a good one, for example. It's been racing in Victoria, or Australia, this past spring, but it's trained by Mark Walker, who trains majority of his horses in New Zealand, and it's had most of its racing in New Zealand, so I put it on New Zealand's team. It is very high rating. Imperatriz at 86. Other horses you might know, Dragon Leap ran in the 2022 Memsey Stakes. Campionessa started single figures in the 2023 Australian Cup behind Cascadian. Prowess won the Crystal Mile on Cox Plate Day 2023. Skewiff, pretty good last week in the Sarupa Clark, won on Melbourne Cup Day in the Hong Kong Jockey Club Stakes. Pennywecker, can't remember what race it won in the autumn, but it won a Group 1 up in Sydney, the Oaks or something, I'm not too sure. All and Over was a boom I put that in quotation marks, boom 3-year-old for Freedman's this spring, and it's done nothing. Mustang Valley's ran in a couple of Group 1s over here. Ladies Man ran in the Group 3 Archer Stakes on Derby Day. Didn't disgrace itself, I don't think. Le Creek started as short favourite for the Empire Rose of 2022. Did nothing. Legato won the 2023 Australian Guineas. And apart from that, Pearl of Alsace, I think, was in for Stakes Day this year, and it came out, or it didn't run too well. And then Lickety Split, if anyone remembers She's Lickety Split, it ran in the 2022 1,000 Guineas and it got renamed Lickety Split. So that's New Zealand's team, 53 rating. 2 teams to go. The second last one is South Africa, coming in with a rating of 51. Their highest rated player, Princess Kala, in the middle of midfield, 64 rating. They've actually got a normal name in their squad, William Robertson, on the half forward flank. That is not I'm Thunderstruck. There's a horse called Thunderstruck racing in South Africa. It's at centre half forward, and there was another one down here, Safe Passage. If anyone remembers Safe Passage, it ran in the 2021 Angus Armanasco Stakes on Blue Diamond Day, trained by Danny O'Brien. A few people might remember that horse. It is not the same horse. It's a different Safe Passage racing in South Africa. Only coming in with a rating of 51, do South Africa. And the last team coming in is the United States of America. They're going to be very hard to beat. An overall rating of 74, equal with Great Britain. Their captain and highest rated player, Elite Power, is at 88. An 88 rating, and it's at centre half forward. And at full forward, they've got Cody's Wish, who's an 87 rating. They haven't got one bad horse on their team. They've got some pretty good horses do the United States of America. So that's their team. Go down to the bench if you want to see Slow Down Andy on the bench. I've found a pretty humorous name. But that's the last team we're going to take a look at. That is the United States of America, the 13th and last team. So this is going to be a 5-part series with 4 sort of parts. This is part 0. We're going to have a part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So how this is going to work is part 1 is going to be Australia's first game, part 2 Australia's second game, part 3 Australia's third game, and part 4 the grand final, whoever makes it. Now, Australia aren't going to be playing just 3 games. It's going to be a full AFL season, but this is where you guys come into it, because I'm going to get you to comment below your 3 teams that you want us to see play live on AFL Evolution 2. So pick whatever 3 teams you want to see us face. I've put my comment down there if you want to see who I've gone for. I'm going to go for New Zealand because I want to see us take on Imperatriz. I'm going to say Great Britain and United States of America because they're the 2 most expensive, highest rated teams in the comp that we're running. So those are the 3 teams I want to see us play. I wouldn't mind seeing us play Hong Kong as well, taking on Romantic Warrior, California Spangle and all that. So it's going to be good fun along the way. So post your comments down below. And before you critics get involved, because I know that a few of you would want to, I know that this achieves absolutely 0 in life, but this is purely experimental and purely for enjoyment. And I was going to do it by myself alone, but I thought I'll share it with you guys. I've got a horse racing YouTube channel, so I'll put it on there. So this is purely for enjoyment. I know this doesn't achieve anything in life. This won't make any change to history, but it's purely experimental, and we're going to see which country has the best racehorses based on a simulation of a computer game. Thanks everyone for watching part 0 of this experiment. Make sure to comment below your 3 teams you want to see us face, and I hope to see you all back for part 1.